in a moment that must be observed. As the conversation continues, Bill Maher criticizes CNN journalist Kaitlan Collins for her network's obvious political slant, using witty humor and indisputable facts. Collins tries to defend CNN when a conversation approaches a dead end of denial and deflection, but her arguments are ineffective, so Maher is left with little choice except to move on. Maher confirms what many viewers already think, that CNN no longer even tries to be objective, by highlighting the stark contrast between the network's praise of Kamala Harris and its unrelenting criticism of Donald Trump. Don't pass up this fantastic lesson on uncovering media hypocrisy.
And he said something like, you guys at CNN just report the news straight. And the crowd burst into laughter. Look, I'm on CNN now. I guess we're on it right now. I mean, they show this show the next night. I don't know how we get away with it with all the fucks. They do. And all these dirty jokes. But I'm glad. And I'm a big rooter for CNN. But that tells you a lot, doesn't it? I mean, how do you guys think you are doing in that arena of, like, this is a terribly divided country. We're not only politicized, a lot of people just hate the other side. And CNN, in my view, should be the place where both sides can watch. How do you think you're doing with it?
CNN is the place where both sides can watch. And I think, my show is evidence of that. We have lawmakers on from both parties. We'll have Elizabeth Warren on one night. We'll have Ted Cruz on another night. I think lawmakers from both parties should take questions, and you should push both.
Don't say you answer difficult questions or exert pressure on Democrats. Kaitlan, this is a significant problem with asserting neutrality. If CNN genuinely wants to be a level playing field, rather than reporting with strict objectivity, then how those voices are addressed, questioned, and placed within the broader discourse will be more significant than who gets our attention when news breaks. The issue is with the way the news is framed and presented, not just with having guests from both parties. Reporting itself is rife with bias, which shapes tales to favor one point of view over another, sometimes publicly and sometimes covertly. The inherent bias in the way stories are conveyed is not mitigated by having conservative voices on a panel. Nowadays, journalists are typically free to use their own prejudices and personal convictions to filter information, either intentionally or inadvertently, which might influence how viewers understand events in a way that is truly objective. However, viewers find it challenging to obtain an unvarnished, objective account of events because CNN, like many other networks, frames stories in ways that support particular political themes. Presenting the facts unvarnished and then enabling a range of opinions to have frank discussions would be a truly unbiased approach. Journalists will provide the viewers the facts, present different viewpoints, and then let them decide for themselves.
CNN being a place of credibility. I mean, look at what just happened in Chicago. We had 300 people from CNN on the ground covering that convention. There were several reporters from just our team alone on the floor, bringing it in real time to people. And I think CNN puts resources behind things and just brings a level of news that you don't get anywhere else. And I think CNN is...
Yeah, but I'm talking about the people on CNN. And what I know what the conservative side of America thinks. And I don't blame them. I watched Carmel Beach last night. It ended at 8:09, like 11:09 in the East. It wasn't until 11:23 till the one conservative guy, what's his name?
Scott Jennings.
Lonely Scott, I call him.
David Arfman was there too.
Wait a second. I watched from 8:09 to 8:23. They were just gushing about how great a speech it was. And I think she did fine. I didn't think it was as good as they were making it out to be. But if I'm a conservative in America and I'm watching CNN just for the straight middle of the road, that's what I hear for 15 minutes. It's great, and then Lonely Scott. It does look, and when you see the path, it does look like tokenism. It's kind of like the same as The View. It's like it's almost better to have nobody there, like MSNBC, than to have this.
Well, I don't think you can say it's better to have nobody there than also lament the fact that you don't think the conservative guy, Scott Jennings, who is great, and we have him on my show all the time, spoke up early enough. I think it was a Democratic convention. They turned to Democrats, people
As the Republican National Convention's major remarks drew to a conclusion, CNN's analysts wasted no time in diving into criticism, stressing their dislikes, pointing out purported inadequacies, and painting the discussion in a negative light. In contrast to CNN, which maintains its impartiality while consistently supporting one side's position, MSNBC, for instance, has a pronounced left-leaning and doesn't attempt to be impartial. Their audience is aware of this with great clarity, and they draw a larger, more loyal audience. There is a noticeable contrast in CNN's attitude if you go back and review their coverage of the event. When reporting conservative events, it is extremely difficult for a network with a clear leaning to seem objective, and this type of immediate backlash is now commonplace. Let's examine the 2021 figures. CNN had 80 million households as customers by December 2023. By that time, that figure had fallen to 68 million, a 12 million decline in just 2 years. This drop is not minor. Rather, it is substantial and tells us a lot about how Audi views a network. CNN now ranks third among cable news networks, behind MSNBC and Fox News, with an average daily viewership of just 580,000, a 50% decrease from the previous year. CNN is not alone in this trend. All cable news networks have seen a drop in viewing, but it is especially noticeable when compared to alternative media platforms and independent producers who are seeing a rise in audience interaction. Since the legacy media model, with its meticulously constructed narratives and selective indignation, is becoming outdated as viewers grow tired of being misled and pressured. The rise of many independent voices further indicates that people are looking for alternatives to traditional media. CNN and similar networks are dying breeds, and platforms that encourage openness, honesty, and genuine dialogue will eventually supplant them entirely.
And what explains why certain Republicans like Tucker Carlson have become so pro-Putin? Good question. What does explain that?
Your buddy. Man, I don't know how. Tucker hates my guts. I mean, I think we all know that.
Well, that says a lot for you.
Yeah, you guys. I don't know how to explain Tucker. I've never met Tucker. Never even spoken with him. He just trashes me because I think it's a bad idea if Russia wins a land war in Europe. I would remind everybody, I know this is getting serious. I would remind everybody, if you don't stop Russia there, and we're spending maybe 5 to 10% of our GDP, defense spending just on supporting Ukraine so they can fight their own battles. If you didn't do that, if you never gave them any stingers, never gave them any javelins, you'd have a Russian army that is fully intact and also very aware that we don't defend our friends, and they'd be on the border of former NATO countries. If you want to get closer to war, that's how you get closer to war. So what do I make of some random, his opinion who got fired for Fox News? I don't know.
That opinion, which I agree with, is out of step with your own party.
It's about half and half. I mean,
Really?
you see it in our votes, yeah. I mean, it's an ongoing discussion. And Trump, by the way, has never ran away from it. Trump has always said, first of all, he threatened Putin when he was in office. He said, look, we're going to...
What, a kiss?
In a culture like Russia's, that would be a threat.
But no, he said, purportedly said, I'm going to bomb the shit out of Moscow if you invade Ukraine. In any case, we know he did invade Ukraine while he was president. He increased the lethal aid to Ukraine by a lot, actually. And he's never said he's backing away from Ukraine. What he has said is it should be a loan, that we should have mining rights, Europeans should pay more, all things I think we all agree with.
Okay.
Except that whole impeachment thing.
Which part? The ones that Democrats impeached
for
him for?
withholding aid to
Yeah,
Ukraine.
the thing that Biden did before that.
point.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, but that's diplomacy. And Biden did the exact.
That's not diplomacy.
Biden did the exact same thing, literally to the exact same country.
No, he
Yes,
really?
he did.
What'd he do?
He was bragging about withholding aid unless they fired that the prosecutor.
Corrupt prosecutor, which is what your party
That's
complains about when
diplomacy.
them.
So American presidents have that power to say, no, we're going to withhold aid because we don't like what you're doing. If our State Department and I'm not bashing Biden for doing that either, by the way.
But
Well, I'm bashing,
withholding aid
but you
because he
can't
wanted an
impeach somebody for
investigation
doing what
into
is
Hunter
within the
Biden.
powers of the president. That's right.
If you enjoy this analysis and would want to see more like it, please click the like button and share the video. Additionally, I want to know if you think CN is really as neutral as they claim to be, or if you think their coverage leans one way. In order for independent filmmakers like me to keep challenging prevailing narratives and contributing new viewpoints to the discussion, kindly subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you at the next one. The future of news and media bias deserve a serious discussion. I admire the various viewpoints you all bring to the table, and I always welcome your criticism.